everyone, Yensid Organist here, and welcome back to another episode of OrgelCraft. I hope you guys are all having a great day today. So, the time has finally come to get this village completely cleaned up here. Oh, we have a cat. That's new. One of the new features in the Village and Pillage update is cats will now spawn in villages. We also have a wandering trader over here. He showed up a couple of Minecraft days ago when I was doing some resource gathering, and now he's wandering away with his llamas. He didn't really have anything that great to trade with anyway. So, I'm getting sidetracked already. 1 minute into the video and we're already getting off topic. So yes, so today we are going to start cleaning up all of the terrain around the village, making it much more manageable to get around. We have some very awkward hills in there and just some things that really don't look so great. We've made all of our buildings look nice, so now it's time for some landscaping. So the first couple of projects are some pretty big terraforming things that we need to do. So up here, up by the library, we have this little bit of a peak that really, it's almost impossible to get to, and I almost had a villager fall off of it the other day. So that needs to go. I'm going to bring that down at least to the level of the library and then maybe slope it down from there. And then I want to build up a hill to this garden that's up here, but I was looking at it, and because of how much higher it is from this planter that we have here, I actually want to bring this down about 2 or 3 blocks just so that they can blend into each other a little bit better. So I am going to come over here and we are going to take a look at this, and the next thing you see will be those first 2 big projects taken care of. Alright, so we are back, and I have taken down this whole peak up here, and I think this looks a lot better. It looks much cleaner. However, now it looks like the library is way, way, way up in the air, so I'm thinking that we might need to develop the hill on this side. That's a project for another time, though. Next thing we're moving on to is taking care of bringing this planter down and building the hill up to it. And welcome back. So, as you can see, I have got this hill built up, and let me walk you around and show you... the sun's going down. Alright, so let me show you what I've done. So I've filled in this whole hill over here, and as you can see, brought it all the way around, and then I finished the planter, brought it all the way down into the ground like we've done with the others, and we've got that along here. Now, over on this side, we needed a way to get up here, and I had a little bit of inspiration with this. First of all, I got some spruce planks here because I think that looks really nice with the oak. And what I decided to do is I decided to take the pattern from the wall and just bring it out and make it part of the staircase, so it lines up with everything that's below it. And now with these slabs here, you can just walk up. When you have a normal 1 block height, you have to actually jump to go up it. But when you have either planks or stairs, you can walk right up it without having to jump. So that makes it a little bit easier to get up there. And I need to go sleep. And of course, all those beds will now be taken, but they can't get to the one that I've hid up here. So we're going to go ahead and get that taken care of. So that's that project finished. We've got that hill all built up, and that planter looks much nicer. Now, I know in the previous clip I was talking about how the library up here looks like it's really, really high up and completely out of place. It's like it's, kind of in the middle of nowhere, high on a mountain. The thing is, if we come around to the side, there is more to this upper area. There's this little plateau up here, and there's yet another planter. And I've also done a little bit of terraforming over here as well, kind of carving this hillside out away from this planter up here. So I think I want to leave the library where it is. And what I'm kind of thinking is to basically just have a staircase that comes all the way up here and then comes back down the other way to lead us to this little house that's tucked in here. And something else that I was thinking is, if we drop down here, so we have this stone wall over here, and there's 3 blocks from the edge of the library out to here. And so what I was kind of thinking was to have a 2-wide staircase go up and over, and then to take the retaining wall that we had from the tree farm over here and kind of use that in here to just to kind of support the hill as it goes up. So that's something that we need to do. The next project I actually want to work on is taking care of this little treacherous path up to the watchtower. So as you can see, we have this little 1 wide that just kind of zigs back and forth. So we need to take care of that, and I've been doing just a little bit of work down here cleaning things up. So I replaced the oak planks that I had before with spruce, because I think spruce looks a little bit nicer with the path blocks. It's a little bit of a darker color, and I think it just blends in a little bit better. I had to replant some grass in some areas so that we could have it all look nice. The other thing is I want to take the acacia logs that we've been using, and I kind of want to make this into a dock over the water. And I was thinking about this area, and the water kind of goes and it follows a river that actually goes way off, and actually I think passes one of our other villages. And so I was thinking it might be kind of cool to turn this into a dock. Maybe not necessarily make this into a full-blown fishing village, but we could make it into more of a developed dock, and then we could also maybe put like a nice little fishing boat in this lake here. So again, those are projects for another time. Right now we are working on cleaning up the terrain around the village. So that's where we're going to start. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is work on a staircase in through here so that we can have a nicer path up there. And I'm going to have to play around with it a little bit. So I'm going to get to work on that, and I will be back. Okay, so I have created a stairway now that leads nicely up here, not in too much danger of falling off. I continued with the spruce, and I decided to go wood the entire way, and then I kept this wall design and kind of used that as like the bracing for the staircase. So that wraps around there, and then it wraps around here as well. So that design goes all the way through. I'm waiting for these path blocks to regrow. I'm waiting for the grass to regrow here so that I can return that to path blocks so that we have that consistent all the way through. And they really like opening and closing these doors. And here's our farmer. Anyway. So the only thing I'm not sure about with this area is what to do with these dirt hills. I don't know if I want to change that up at all. It looks very bland. And obviously, we have a lot of brown in the design of our town, with the walkways and, with the wood that we're using. So I don't know what I want to do. If you have any ideas, definitely let me know. Because, yeah, I'm just not sure. The other thing is we could maybe do some texture variation in the dirt. We could add some coarse dirt, which is a little bit darker, and maybe some brown concrete powder just to kind of give us a little bit of depth, a little bit of variation in those hills. All right, so the next couple of projects are going to take place up on top of this hill. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out this little lantern here that was there. Now, this well, as nice as it is to have a well in the village, it's completely useless right now. So I'm going to remove it, and I can't currently get out. So I'm going to go ahead and fill it. And then we will go ahead and I'm just going to completely tear this down, and then we will find a place to relocate. I better get up fast, or I'm going to run out of air. All right, here we go. This is probably not the most efficient way to get rid of all this water, but it'll work. There we go. All right. right, so that is good, and now I can tear all of this down. So, I am going to get to work tearing down the well, and I was looking at the hill behind us here leading up to the library and trying to figure out exactly what I want to do with that. And this too-wide staircase works really, really nicely. You know, it's wide enough that you don't have to worry about falling off. You don't have to deal with any really tight corners. And so I'm trying to decide if I want to go up this way or if I want to just go right up this way and then over and down to the other house on the other side. So I'm going to have to think about that a little bit, play around with a couple of different designs, and see what works best. So I'm going to get to work on that, and I will see you in a minute. And welcome back. So I'm over here by this little hut that was kind of out of the way. This has been quite a process since the last cut. I finally took care of an interior on this house. It's got a bed, and I put the grindstone over here. I discovered in working between the last segment and this one that I've got some new villagers around. And so I'm trying to encourage as many different professions in here as possible because that would be most beneficial as far as trading goes. So we are over here, and I've finished this path off here, and I will take you up and over, but I want to do a little bit of a reveal because this was quite the process to get the path just the way I wanted it. I tried probably about 4 different ways of getting through, getting up to that library and getting over the mountain. The mountain was really, really too steep for any good path, so I kind of had to improvise. I took out the well here. There's still a big hole that I need to work on, but I have an idea for that, for how we can get down to this part of the village. But here is what I have come up with. So there's our library. And here is the staircase that runs all the way up. I've been playing with the grindstone. As you see in the stone here, we now can do stairs and slabs with the stone. So I was playing around with that, and I think the texture looks really, really nice. You get the different levels in there, and it really adds some depth to it. And then if we step back a little bit, I'm going to make sure I don't fall off here. I took care of the wall all the way down, put a little fence up there, but it was far too steep to be able to go from the little hut over there, which we can't quite see, to go up and over. So what I ended up doing was creating a little bit of a cave that we can travel through, and I did some stuff with the stairs and slabs here as well. So we come through there, and then we come down the staircase to this hut. Now, I don't know if any of the villagers have found it yet, but you can now go all the way through. I still want to connect the path over there. I haven't quite gotten to that yet, but you can walk all the way through, plus there's a little bit over here that will bring you up to this planter, and then you can see our walls from here. And if you come over here, we had already done this. There's the path that leads down here to this one, and then everything else that we had done before. The grass finally grew in there, and I was able to get that finished. So we can now go all the way around, and if we come up here, our path will loop around, and put a little bit of fencing here so you don't fall off the edge. And you can get up to the library. Now, I'm not sure if grass will ever grow into here, so we might have to do some work to be able to eventually change that to path blocks. But so that's what we've got. Here's our wandering trader, who now has lost 3 llamas in the course of walking around our village. Yet, not my fault you're losing your llamas. Maybe you shouldn't drop them off a cliff. Speaking of cliffs, I did a little bit more. I showed you that I had kind of cleared this hillside out. Well, I came through and added some stairs and slabs, and I think this just looks so much better. And I want to come through and add some andesite, just to give it a little bit of variation in the color as well. So things are definitely coming along very nicely here. There's one thing that I want to add in here. I haven't done anything with lighting in the village yet, but that's going to be something that's important to do. But I think one of the coolest new blocks that we got in this last update is the lantern, and I've already put it to good use at the house, and so let's go take a look at that really quick. So I added 2 of these lanterns right outside, and I think that's really, really nice touch, and it adds some light at night. Obviously, you can't tell that during the day. But these are such a great addition because your lighting options in Minecraft are really not great. So this goes a long way. Right now, the best thing that we had, well, up until this update, the best thing we had was torches, but now we have these lanterns. So I'd like to put one of them in our little cave passageway that we have up there. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. Hopefully we can get there. Actually, this would be perfect. The sun is setting, and I can show you what it looks like at night. I don't think there's a crafting table in either of those houses. But there are several in here, so if we just jump down here, maybe, if I can climb down a ladder. So, to make a lantern, you need 8 iron ingots, and we're going to take that one out, and then a torch in the middle, and that gives us our lamp. I'm actually going to make a couple of these, just so that we have enough. I'm gonna be using these a lot as we continue taking care of the village. But let's go see. Yeah, so as you can see, it is very dark in here. But we're gonna put that in there, and that brightens that up, and that adds really, really nice touch to that. Keeps it light, so we don't have to worry about mobs spawning in here, and just looks really, really nice. And I'll tell you what, I've got this other one. Let's hang it. Oh, I can't hang it. That's right. They can sit on the ground, or they can hang from a block. And I don't currently have a block that they can hang from, so that's just going to sit there for right now. All right, I'm going to go sleep. So, we are making progress with the pathways through here. It's getting much easier to get around. Much safer for our villagers as well, except this guy seems to be stuck. Oh, there he goes. All right, so to finish up the paths, I think what I want to try to do is I want to take a staircase that just kind of curves around this area where the well used to be. I think that'll give us a little bit more room to work with and make a smoother transition, and then we can kind of fill in this area. And then the other thing that I want to do is I want to take a path from this part of the village, and I want to wrap it around. Probably going to come all the way over here and link it up with that. One of the things I was actually thinking about doing, we have this water here, and we also have the water at the base of the guard tower, and I was thinking it might be kind of nice to have a little bit of a stream running through the backside of this. I think I eventually want to build some more houses over here as we expand the village. So I'm going to get to work on hopefully getting these paths all finished, and if inspiration strikes, I will add that stream as well. So I will see you guys when that is done. Many days, many hours of gameplay, and many, many changes since the last clip. It has been quite an adventure since the last time I recorded. You'll notice that my armor is looking a little bit different. I have some diamond armor now, and that is because, well, we had a little incident between our last clip while I was doing some work. And that's a raiding party. Oh, this should be fun. So, yes, we had a pillager raid take place, and when you fend off a random group of raiders, you get the effect that is known as Bad Omen. And when you have the Bad Omen effect and you go into a village, you then trigger a pillager raid. And not just one raid, but seven waves of raiders came through and, well, completely wreaked havoc on the village. And I just have to say, these raids, while I was kind of looking forward to this aspect of the game, not so fun in the early game when you are not prepared. I had a whopping 10 arrows, and that was not enough to take them out. So, Yeah, I actually recorded most of the footage from that raid, and everything that went on with that. And I'm thinking I'm going to release that in a bonus episode in a couple of days once I have a chance to get that all put together. So let's talk about what happened, and let's talk about the building progress, because that's really the most important, and you'll get filled in on the raid in that upcoming episode. The thing that I am most upset about is I had probably about 10 or 12 villagers, and now I'm down to 1. So that's not so good. But lots of things have happened. Now, the village is not done. It is nowhere near what I was hoping to have done for this episode, but with everything that's happened, I kind of need to take a break. It was not a fun process going through all of that, so I need to work on something else. So I'm gonna wrap this up with this tour, and then we'll come back to this in a few episodes. So, as you can see, I've got acacia trees dotted all around here. If you remember back to an earlier episode, I said I really kind of liked the acacia forest. Well, I've gone ahead and I've planted acacia saplings all over. And one of the things that I found was we have these new bark blocks where you have the bark texture on every side of the block, and so I'm going to kind of go around and work out all of the orange from these, but that's a little bit of a process. So I finished off the docks, made it the birch and the oak, and then the acacia as kind of these, pillars that are supporting it. So we have the dock that has come all along here. I tamed a cat. This is my kitty cat. I have nothing to offer him or her. I don't know. I need a name for the cat. Give me a name for the cat. Anyway, let's see here. So, yes. So I finished all of this off through here. Finished all of the pathways. Let's go up here. So I went ahead and brought the path all the way down, and instead of a well, we have a little bit of a natural pond or a stream, and this now flows down into here, and then out there, and we're going to take the path, because the path actually loops all the way around. Path comes out and around, and we have this little bit of a bridge here. And so we now have the water comes all the way down. It flows through this stream and through this little bit of a valley that I made, comes all the way along and joins the water that we have over here. And I really like how that looks. I know I said I wasn't sure if I was going to do that in the last clip, and then I started working on it, and I was like, oh yeah, I really want this in here. So yeah, so I've done some landscaping. Let's see, what else? The retaining wall over here. So there was a farm up there, and I was trying to figure out what to do with this, and I decided to go ahead and continue this little retaining wall that we've got. But then I had enough room that I was able to make this little spiral staircase, and here's our single remaining villager. And it brings you up to this little plot here, which was destroyed by our raiders. But then I also had this little bit of farmland down here, and there was absolutely no way to reach it. So I got a little bit creative with that. And on this far side of the village over here, I took the path and carved out a little bit of this hillside and brought it up here. And it's getting to be nighttime, so let's see if we can finish this up. So the path now brings us all the way around to this little house over here, and then we have another cave system that kind of winds its way through here, and we've got a little bit of support and some of those lanterns, but that will bring you out to this planter and this little bit of farmland down here, which has just enough light for stuff to actually be able to grow. I don't know if any villagers are actually going to be able to pathfind their way down here, but it's here and it's now accessible. And I love this little cave tunnel that will lead down there. So I'm going to go ahead and sleep really quick. So anyway, that is going to about do it. And actually, let's drop down here so we can see. I did instead of doing the retaining wall, I did the planters like we've had. So we've got the logs the regular and then the stripped logs that kind of go all the way up and finish that off. So yeah, as you can see, a lot has changed since the last time we came through here. I wonder if my iron golem is still over here. Villagers will spawn iron golems that are kind of protectors of the village. Yeah, and those are all gone. So anyway, so yeah, so a lot of progress, not nearly enough. I had hoped to do some more, some landscaping, use some leaves to add bushes. I did do a little bit of texture variation with the stone in there, adding some andesite and gravel, and I also did the same over here. So it was all that stone texture before, and I went ahead and just added a little bit of variation to it, just to kind of break up the colors there. So guys, I think that is going to do it for this episode. Like I said, yeah, I need to work on some other stuff. We need some farms, we need some things to kind of make the game run a little bit better, so we can get some better items, we can automate a few things, and I just need a little bit of a change of pace. So that's what we're going to be working on in the next episode. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do. I have a couple ideas. We need to go and visit the Nether. I'd like to get a sugarcane farm going. So, just some ideas. So, if there are any farms you want to see me make, let me know that in the comments. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video today. If you did, please be sure to give it a like and leave me a comment and share it with your friends. If you haven't already, I would encourage you to subscribe and make sure you click that little notification bell so that you can stay up to date on all my latest posts. Be sure to follow me on social media, and if you'd like to help support the channel, I would encourage you to consider becoming one of my Patreons. You can find links to all of these sites down in the description. Thanks for watching. See you real soon.